Aw, nah, not this again. Ayo guys, we are back with a new Rent-A-Girlfriend, and chapter 396 did not go down the way that I thought it would, but thankfully it did lead to a very happy outcome. So we think at least, right? Because Reiji still wants to hold us in suspense, so in the meantime hit that like and hype button, that would help me out so much, and subscribe because these two might be meeting sooner than July 11th. So we start off the chapter immediately after chapter 395, and Umi is calling Kazuya, but for what reason? And as we flip the page and get distracted again because we have another chapter title page with Chizuru in a swimsuit holding a water gun, but more importantly we also see that she has a hibiscus flower over her ear. And here I want to give out a big shout out and a thanks to Isaac Gonzalez 9354 who pointed out in the previous chapter about the hibiscus flower significance in the story. If you don't recall, let's remember the time that Kibe told Chizuru about the story about how Kazuya accidentally harvested a hibiscus flower even though there should have been no way. In that story, Kibe is pointing out that Kazuya has a lot of patience and perseverance and that he's a good guy because that hibiscus flower was a reward. And this will parallel the story because Kazuya has helped out Chizuru so much, and then at the end of the story, of course, Chizuru will be that reward. She will be that hibiscus flower. And one final note is that July 11th is a day that the hibiscus flower is celebrated in Japan. So once again, it looks like all of Kazuya's efforts will finally pay off with all this subtle messaging if you're one of those doubters that thought that they would not end up together at the end of the story. So once again, thanks to Isaac for pointing this out, and also Chizuru looks awesome on the chapter page. Let's just admire it one more time. You are killing it, Reiji. Subtle messaging and fan service. Keep doing what you're doing. Sorry if I went a little longer on that chapter page. I just saw that hibiscus flower and wanted to point that out. But back to what the hell does Umi want? And unfortunately, it looks like we won't know for a while because he calls Kazuya to ask if they can meet up, and Kazuya's actually super busy thanks to his new self-improvement arc with his school, his work, internships, and that new gym arc hopefully we get to see. So they plan to meet after his part-time job, and now all we have left to wonder is what is he going to say. I thought for sure Umi would just try to sabotage things now, or maybe just declare the feat. So instead we have Kazuya, of course, freaking out as usual, because he starts to piece things together, and why would Umi call? And it's because they have one thing in common, and it's Chizuru. So he starts to wonder, did something happen? Did they meet? And hey, you're not helping here, Fishkun. And then just starts imagining the worst scenarios, and they're actually kind of hilarious here. So he starts imagining, what if Chizuru just went to Umi to override her kiss with him, and then just thinking that Umi is a better kisser, or maybe it's to complain about how bad the kiss was, or even worse, she wants Umi to tell Kazuya to back off because she only kissed him out of pity for saying how much he loves her all the damn time. And I think the funniest part about all of this is just Chizuru giving back all the rental date money right here. But hold up, is this finally confirmation of all the money Kazuya has spent on all the rental dates? Most likely not. It's hard to tell since he did start off his college fund with 1,000,000 yen, but it's hard to say that he spent all 1,000,000 yen on Chizuru. I'm sure he had to pay for school supplies, transport, and food, but hey, maybe he did spend 1,000,000 yen after getting a part-time job, so we do a conversion, let's do a little beep bop boop. He has spent over $6,600 over 2 years. It's not that crazy amount of money that people were saying, but it's still a lot of money. But let's just leave it at that. I just wanted to point that out. But as Kazuya freaks out, he remembers that there's no way that this can happen. He's overthinking it. That Chizuru has already decided to date him after July 11th, but instead of waiting, he picks up the phone and actually calls her. He can't stand the idea of losing Chizuru to anybody, and after some suspense of waiting for the call to be answered, the chapter ends with her answering the phone. And oh boy, am I excited but also nervous. I have been praying and preaching that Kazuya should have been reaching out to Chizuru so long ago. And even though I made a little bit of fun of Umi, let's also say thanks to Umi because we finally got it because of his interaction. That call gave Kazuya the courage to finally reach out because he doesn't want anyone to take Chizuru away from him. But now that she's answered, how is this phone call going to go? This is going to be so tough to predict that it might not even be a prediction. But will this call be solely about asking Chizuru out, or is he going to mention Umi's call? Or is Chizuru going to mention it? The fact that we still have to wait on what Umi wants to talk about makes me think that it won't be brought up. Unless it is brought up and Kazuya can finally be confident and smug around Umi, knowing that Chizuru has officially picked him when he finally gets to meet up with him later on in the story. That would be so awesome, but I really doubt that it'll happen. So I will say that the phone call will just be him asking Chizuru out, and maybe we just jump over to the day that Kazuya will meet up with Umi to spice up the chapter. I know that it's such a basic prediction, but man, it's really hard to predict anything in this story. But at least if it plays out this way, we'll have something to theorize with because we'll have the date, and then we have Umi who might say something that either sabotages the date or gives Kazuya confidence. And then if we're gonna predict anything that's gonna go on with Umi's conversation, we could just repeat whatever I said in chapter 395. Either way, I'm just really excited to finally have these two reconnect and that it was finally Kazuya the one who made the call. This is going to mean something for Chizuru, especially if Kazuya asks her out again. But I do hate thinking of the possibility that she might decline the date because she's so busy with that big play. So I do want to say that I am mentally preparing for that, but I also think she won't do that because she's been dying to see Kazuya. But what do you guys think? How is the next chapter going to play out? Let me know down in the comments. And in the meantime, if you need a new manga recommendation, don't forget to check out my new video showcasing Hima 10. It's so much fun and I think you guys will really enjoy it. And as always, if you made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit the like and hype button. That would help me out so much. And while you're down there, why not hit the subscribe button, because we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. We're almost there, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Don't forget to get your Chainsaw Man tickets. I just got mine.